Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time visiting. Today we are going to be taking a up-close look at the Millenial Tarot. First of all, thank you to the team over at Millenial Tarot for sending this to me so that I can share it with you all. I think this is a super fun deck. I'm going to admit, when I saw Danny Mystic's walkthrough of this deck, I was like, I might need this in my life. I'm pretty sure I'm not technically a millennial. I'm like in that overlap between like Gen X and millennials. But a lot of this is super relatable and fun, so I thought it'd be a fun one to share with you all. But if you have not seen Danny Mystic's review or video about this deck, I'm going to link it down below because hers was the one that brought this to my attention. So with that said, we're going to get into it. Okay, so a couple things before we get into it. First of all, there is a card that comes in the deck that has a QR code. This is not a knockoff deck. This card comes within the deck. You can download not download, but pull up the digital guidebook. And I do have that open on my phone here so that we can take a look at some of the entries, which looks super fun. By the way, it's a very easy to navigate online guidebook site. So I'm going to have that open into the side in case we want to refer to anything. But with that, let's get into it. So it comes in a tuck box. Not my fave. And I will say the cardstock feel like this is giant. I wish do I have a deck nearby? I don't know why I never think to do this. Let me grab do I have anything standard? Well, okay, here off to my side, I have the animated tarot. This is I forget what this is called, but this is roughly standard tarot size. I just want to give you an idea. Here, let's use this of the difference. So it's quite long. See that? And it's quite a bit wider than a standard tarot size. So it is big. Love the avocado backs, by the way. And what's neat about the backs is they also have, if you look closely, they have a wand, a coin, a sword, and a cup, like a coffee cup, right on the backs of the cards, which is super fun. So that's what the backings look like. And then within the deck, you do get a couple of spreads. A What is Love? Tarot Don't Hurt Me. Who has got an earworm now? And Ugh, the Career Ladder. So that's pretty fun. And then on the back, you have Quick and Dirty, Lost Now Found, the Spark Notes on Life, and Doing the Work. So that's kind of nifty to have in there, especially because this is a very grounded type of deck to have everyday style tarot spreads. So let me get the box out of the way. We're going to zoom in and just take a look at these card by card. Oh, before I do that though, a couple things about cardstock. Not only is this big, like I have large, very stretchy hands and I can't get my fingers around more than about half the deck and I can feel a stretch, and I know that I can usually handle larger decks. So this is difficult to do. So that's something you need to be aware of. The other thing I noticed out of the box is that the cardstock already has a lot of like what looks to be kind of chipping, especially on these last couple of cards. And all I've really done is pulled it out of the box and put it back in once or twice. Like I haven't shuffled it or done anything with it, but like it's definitely showing some wear already. With that said, I reached out to the creators and asked them, hey, I've heard some stuff about the cardstock. Is there plans? And they said they do have plans to make updates to the cardstock in their next printing. So keep an eye out for that. They didn't tell me what those changes were going to be, but that they do want the deck to be more easily shuffleable. So that's coming. But anyways, I will have a link down below to the site where you can order the Millenial Tarot if you're interested. For now though, let's get into the cards. I'm going to zoom us in. Now, a couple things about the way the cards are designed and laid out that I think is really great. First of all, you have the artwork on the card. I will say the place my eyes go on the card is the text. So you have on the bottom third or quarter or so of the card, the title of the card. So here we see the Fool. Then we have the nickname of the card, which is the biggest thing you'll see on the card. So here it's called the Millennial. And then in very small text, but to me, without my reading glasses, and I have older eyes, I still find it very readable, is a little key phrase, something to sort of tune you into the meaning of the card. So here we have the Fool as the title, the Millennial as the nickname, and Starting a Journey as the key phrase. And then up in the top left corner here, this I cannot read, but it's on this card anyways. Oh, I see. It's the planetary associations. So up in the top corner here, let's see if I can bring this in so you can see it. Where do I, okay, I can put the card here. Up here it says Uranus. On the next card it says Mercury, the Moon. Okay, so they look like they are the traditional associations with the cards, so that's great. So anyway, here we have the Millennial. It's a cup of coffee for a brain or for a head, which I think is hilarious. It's like a latte. That's kind of fun. I'm more interested in the names and the titles. That sounds probably kind of bad, but I'm more interested in that than the artwork. To be honest, it's this fun stuff. So we have the Millennial as the Fool, taking a journey, which I like. The Magician is the tech visionary, and then it says envisioning the future. Amazing. Love that. And you definitely get this idea. If you look into the glasses of this person, on one side it has what looks like a cell phone or something. I can't tell. Maybe you can on your bigger screen what's in that lens of the glasses. But this idea of envisioning the future is definitely coming through in the artwork. The High Priestess is the festival goer. Understanding how life works. This is really interesting because being able to navigate among so many people does take a certain amount of intuition. So I like that reference. I think that's pretty fun. And the idea of this deck to me is that it's very grounded in like our current, maybe not even fully our current reality, but certainly the millennial reality. And so in some ways, this deck feels just a little bit young to me. But on the other hand, it also feels really modern and fun. So let me go to the guidebook entry on the Empress here. Now this is the Etsy Queen, which you know I'm going to resonate with because of Peggy. The Etsy Queen, I mean, hello. And then underneath it says caring for creations. Now, if you go to the guidebook entry for this card, what I love about this, it's very millennial. At the top, you have a TLDR, so too long didn't read. Caring for creations, which is the same bit you have here on the bottom. Then you have information about can I click that? It says numerology and suit. I don't know why it says that, but maybe there was meant to be text there. And then it says, oh, because it doesn't apply to the majors. So in the minors, you're going to see that probably have some information. And then it says, you gave life to a creation. There is something you want and you crafted it into existence. You birthed a business, project, relationship, or even a baby into being. Now you must nurture this gift to the world. Let it develop and grow, protect and guide it, clean and care for it. Let it blossom into something great that may bring you joy, wealth, and enjoyment. So you get a little snapshot of a interpretation there, which is helpful. The Emperor is the patriarchy, charting a path. Yeah, that definitely gives Emperor vibes. And this has a very, like, is it Art Deco kind of vibe to it? Here we have the Hierophant and we have the Instagram Guru, seeking guidance from others. And I'm just going to double check the association in the corner here, and it is Taurus. So yeah, we're staying on point with the traditional associations. The Lovers is the Tinderists, gaining partners along the way. The Tinderists. I feel like this would be a good deck, pardon the motorcycle noise. I think this would be a really good deck for like a modern reading. I do wish it was smaller and easier to shuffle though. The Chariot, van life, making big moves. So fun. So fun. Strength is DIY skills, honing the tools. We have the Lion here still. We have the Leo association up there. I like that the esoteric associations or the zodiacal associations are kind of unobtrusive. They're in the corner if you want to use them, but you don't have to. They're not in your face, which makes sense for a modern deck. The Hermit is off the grid, questioning society. Love that. Wheel of Fortune is Bitcoin investment, anticipating change. This is really interesting because the Bitcoin investment speaks to basically any millennials who would have invested in Bitcoin made out like champions, I'm sure. But so there's that element of sort of fortune or success that comes through, but you also have the change reference in the subtext there. Justice is the social justice warrior making amends. The Hanged Man is fun employed, patiently reflecting. I think this is a beautiful card, and I think this makes a lot of sense. Death is student loans. Oh dear. And then it says closing one door, opening another. Temperance is eco-friendly, finding balance. So finding balance in modern life to find that eco-friendly space makes sense. The Devil is the fuckboy. Sorry for saying it, but I had to. Like, it's too perfect. Giving in to temptation. This is so great. I love this. This is fun. This is really fun. The Tower, this is probably the entire reason I wanted this deck. And also, I really want Peggy to do readings with this, but this is giant. I don't know how she's going to shuffle it because she has smaller hands than I do. But this is epic. The Dumpster Fire, a serious wake-up call. The Star is the soul cyclist, starting fresh. See, I really like this. I like this key phrases. I think it's really intelligent. The Moon is the ghoster, stepping into the unknown. Oh my God. Amazing. The Sun is insta-famous, seeing the bright side. Judgment is quarter life crisis, a brand new outlook. I don't think I'd even heard this term until a couple of years ago. So this is like quarter life. Is that like 25? Or is that like... what are we deeming as quarter life? If anybody knows, let me know down below. I'm super curious. And then the World is boozy brunch, abundant success. It's interesting to me because I often see the world in a more neutral space, but it's very traditional to view the world as success. And it is success, but to me, I see it more neutral as in it's the completion of a journey. And sometimes completions don't feel like they're all about success. Sometimes they do. So now we're into the minors. Now I'm assuming that Vibes is Wands. It's got the red. Feels is blue. or sorry, feels is cups, which is blue. And then thoughts is gray, which is swords. And then we have green for pentacles, which is swag. And those suit names and the suit color associations really work. It means that when you lay these cards out in a spread, you're going to immediately know what the elemental balance is. And that's really important to me. The majors had pink borders and pink bits at the bottom here. So we have microdose. I'm going to admit, I don't know what that is, but because I see mushrooms, I'm going to assume it's like a small dose of a psychedelic, maybe? And then it says a new opportunity, which I suppose makes sense if you think about like psychedelics and like the idea of visionaries or being inspired. That kind of makes sense actually to me. 2 of vibes is new career, who dis. And I love vibes, by the way, for wands. I don't think I've mentioned that yet, but I love vibes for wands because wands are very much about that passion, and vibes is such a cool word for that. Anyway, so it says new career, who dis, and then it says making a choice for the 2 of vibes. The 3 of vibes is first, like the build up. I love the concept of the build up for the 3 of wands. This makes a lot of sense to me. Oh, let's check the astrological. So it just says fire, Aries. Oh, fire, Aries. Interesting. So it's not telling us the actual decan, I don't think. It just tells us the planet, or excuse me, the sign and the element. Anyway, first like for this makes a lot of sense. If you're, let's say you're starting off a social media account or you're starting a YouTube channel, that first subscriber, that first like is really a huge part of the process. That's when you're just starting to gain that bit of, that's that embarking energy, yeah, it's exactly how I see the 3 of wands. 4 of vibes went viral, manifesting results. Yes to this. This is really the card for me of milestones. It's like that first big achievement along the path. So that really works. 5 of vibes is frenemies, a setback. Totally works. 6 of vibes is squad goals, better together. This is an interesting one. So the 6 of wands I often view as recognition, which definitely works. This has more of a teamwork vibe, but it definitely works as well for that energy. The 7 of wands, sorry, not sorry, stepping out of the comfort zone. There's a real strong protective element to the 7 of wands. We're sort of protecting something important to us. That could be our views, our opinions. We're defending ourselves in some way. So this really works. I'm going to say that a lot, I'm sorry, but I just really love the associations in here. The 8 of vibes is literally obsessed, marinating in it. It's funny because some of these phrases are so familiar and common and comfortable for me, and some of them are like, I feel old when I look at them, which is exactly where I'm at generationally, so it totally makes sense. The 9 of vibes is on edge, the tipping point. Yeah, I definitely feel like everything I'm attracted to about this deck, and this is not meant to pick on anybody at all, but like everything I'm attracted to is like the associations, the phrases. This is the part that excites me. I'm not even really honing in on the artwork the same, which makes sense to me because when I've had other decks that feel kind of word heavy, I find myself doing the same thing. So I'm probably missing tons of stuff in the artwork, but it's really this. This is what I'm about. We have burnt out for the 10 of wands, which makes so much sense. The end result, 10 of vibes. The page of vibes is house DJ receiving a message. So maybe somebody can help me in the comments. Help me make the connection between a house DJ and receiving a message. That's the first one that doesn't feel as fully connected for me, but I think this is really, it's really fun. I can totally see the page of wands being a DJ, so I have no problem there. It's more like this connection between house DJ and receiving a message that I guess music is a message, so that I can make a case for it. I'm just curious if there's something else there that I might be missing because I don't know. When I see house DJ, here's what I think. My Peggy and my son is doing a lot of events and I've been hearing terms like house music, certain different kinds of house music, and I feel really old when I hear that stuff. So I'm wondering if there's something specific about being a house DJ specifically that adds another layer to this. I don't know. Do I sound old? I feel old. Okay. Knight of Vibes is a life coach. This totally makes sense. The Knight of Wands would totally be a life coach personality, standing up and fighting for sure. Somebody who's like really out there just getting things done. Yes, yes, yes. The Queen of Vibes is just a baddie. Mastering feminine energy. I really like baddie here most of all. It looks like she's on a motorcycle or something. Here we have the King of Vibes. Well, this one I'm not going to say out loud. Big D energy. Mastering masculine energy. So we're really seeing, it almost feels like if you're going to say mastering feminine and mastering masculine, I'd almost expect that these would be like Emperor, Empress. I have a feeling though. Hold on. Okay, wait. I feel like I knew this and I forgot this. Okay, so the phrases, okay, through the minor arcana, the phrases along the bottom are the same across every suit. So not the nicknames, but these little phrases, these little key phrases, these are the same across the suits. Now, why that's cool is because it brings you into the numerology of each card, right? It brings you into the numerology element combined creates this, a new opportunity, making a choice. But what does making a choice look like in the wand suit versus the cup suit, right? So these are all, these little these little tiny phrases are the same across all the different suits. So now we're into the Ace of Feels and we have swipe right and it's still a new opportunity. Whereas in the Vibe suit, let me just bring this up so you can see what I mean. Microdose was a new opportunity. So they're both going to say a new opportunity. Hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down here. So in the water suit, it's swipe right. So this is the Tinder thing. And now I know, I always forget because I've never used Tinder, whether it's left or right is good. So this will hopefully help me remember. So now we have a new opportunity, swipe right for the Ace of Cups. This makes so much sense because I see the Ace of Cups as a moment of a blessing, like something's coming to you that's good. So when two people swipe right, that would really track for that. And then for the Two of Feels, we have engagement photos. That's a big leap for me for the Two of Cups, but I get it. Making a choice now in the cup suit is engagement photos. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this dog. Oh my God. Couples costumes for the build up. So this is the Three of Cups. This one doesn't work as well for me because to me, the Three of Cups is about community and support and friendship, less so about relationship stuff. But I get the point here. We're still seeing that emotional growth and we're still seeing the build up of the suit going from a couple to now having a dog together. That makes sense. Then in the Four of Feels, we have binge watching, manifesting results. This one is a harder connection to make between binge watching and manifesting results to me because those two, like I understand we're trying to pick a phrase that can work across all four suits, but here it doesn't fit as well. Binge watching can be definitely being comfortable, but to me is also, it's also got elements of distractibleness or like, what's the word I'm looking for? Escapism. So I'm not seeing that so much in the manifesting results place. Five of Feels is the ick, a setback. The ick. Okay. Is that like, yeah, okay, I get you. The Six of Feels is a throwback, better together. Then the Seven of Feels is thirst traps. So stepping out of the comfort zone in the suit of feelings, in the suit of emotions. Thirst trap kind of makes sense. It's a little bit of a fantasizing energy. Eight of Feels is inner work. Marinating in it is the, did I miss that in the Eight of Wands? I must have. Let's just check. I probably missed it. Yeah, marinating in it, literally obsessed. Yeah, I don't think I read it out loud, but so inner work, the Eight of Cups, inner work. I mean, that makes sense. We're choosing ourselves in the Eight of Cups. I love hashtag blessed for the tipping point in the Nine of Cups or the Nine of Feels. In the Ten of Feels, we have fam, the end result. Okay, that works. Oh, I love this Page of Cups or Page of Feels, coming out. So receiving a message is, this is why I was struggling in the Nine of Wands with House DJ or Nine of Vibes, because that receiving a message is what they've got for all of the suits. So here we have coming out for the Page of Cups. Oh, that's a sweet image. Knight of Cups is ally, Knight of Feels, standing up and fighting. Queen of Feels is mother's intuition, mastering feminine energy, and then King of Feels is stay-at-home dad, mastering masculine. This really works, these two, for the Queen and King of Cups for sure. Ace of Thoughts, vision board, a new opportunity. I like vision board for the Ace of Swords because to me, this first thing is all about getting a discovery or clarity or sort of like figuring out what you think. That makes sense to me. The Two of Thoughts, TBH, IDK. If you know, you know. TBH, to be honest, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know what to do. That really works. The Three of Swords or the Three of Air is too real, the build-up. Too real. The Three of Swords for me is all about learning lessons the hard way. So yeah, that makes sense. And the Four of Thoughts is self-care. That's interesting. Makes sense because the Four of Swords is all about getting a step away from all of the drama. The Five of Swords, gaslighting. This works really powerfully for the Five of Swords. There's a lot of like nefarious energy to this card. Really works well as a setback. Six of Thoughts, girls trip. So this is what you do after getting out of this bad relationship, right? You go on the girls trip. That makes sense. Seven of Thoughts is being shady. This is where we're stepping out of the comfort zone. I think sevens, it's interesting. Everybody seems to have a very different take on sevens numerologically, which I find very interesting. Eight of Thoughts is lockdown. This really hits different after COVID. Just saying. Nine of Thoughts, the Sunday scaries. I totally get the Sunday scaries. Oh my God. So that makes sense for the Nine of Swords for sure. It's like leaping at shadows, like just being more likely to be reactive, right? The 10 of Thoughts, can't even. Just can't even. That makes so much sense. Then we have the Page of Swords as the teletherapist. I keep saying the traditional suit name, but it's Thoughts. The Knight of Thoughts is the protest organizer. Makes so much sense. The Queen of Thoughts is independent woman. The King of Thoughts is grown-ass man. I love that so much. I am a grown-ass man, or you're a grown-ass man. You know what to do. That's hilarious. Okay, Ace of Swag. So we have swag for the Pentacles. We have a new gig. Totally works for the Ace. Work-life balance, making a choice for the Two of Swag. Work-life balance is the classic association with this card, so that really works. And you can really see it in this imagery, right? We have work, life, they're being balanced on the scales. Three of Swag is work besties. Yes, we're working well together. Four of Swag is pyramid scheme. This is interesting because Four of Pentacles to me is more about like not taking risks, and pyramid schemes feel very risky to me. So I don't know that I jive fully with that one, but I get where they're going. The Five of Swag is furlough. So furlough, when I hear furlough, I think vacation, and I know that's not the same thing, but that's what it feels like. But I can see how this would represent a setback. Six of Swag is free giveaway. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I can see it. Seven of Swag is hustle culture, stepping out of the comfort zone. Eight of Swag is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome for the Eight of Pentacles. I could see this because we get caught up in perfectionist energy in the Eight of Pentacles a lot of times. So a lot of times that can be driven by an imposter syndrome. First time homeowner for the Nine of Pentacles makes a lot of sense. You've worked really hard for this. You've now gotten there. And then we have generational wealth for the 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of Swag. Then for the Page, we have personal trainer. I like that. That works for me. For the Knight, we have celebrity stylist. This feels less Pentacles-y to me. It feels way more Wandsy or just way more Wandsy than Pentacles-y to me. Queen of Swag, who runs the world? That's fun. And then King of Swag is sugar daddy. That's kind of hilarious. Okay, so I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of the actual like imagery, if that makes sense, but the overall look and feel of this deck does feel very like millennial-ish. It feels modern, it feels fresh, but it's got this like, it's really just the phrases. Does that make me too super shallow? Maybe, but I really like the phrases. Okay, so let's see. Let me zoom us out. Let's see if I can figure out how to shuffle this. So hand over hand, I feel like I've got big hands and this works, but I feel like if you've got smaller hands, you'd probably need to do it this way. So let's see if that's a nightmare to do. This is that kind of cardboardy cardstock that can chip really easy. Like I said, mine's already chipped. So that's just something to be aware of. I'm super curious what their next printing is going to be like from a size and cardstock perspective. But I feel like this is really fun. I think that if I were, oh, there is a little bit of an issue here. Oh no, I didn't know this. Hold on. Yeah, there is an issue. Okay, so take a look at it. I'm just going to show you. This is probably just a QC thing that has to, this is the printer. This isn't like, this is whoever they're using as a printer, but there's some unevenness. Let's see if I can bring it in so you can see the focus. There's a little bit of unevenness to the corners. I've got to get it really smooth so you can really see it. Do you see where there's these jutting out points? And this happens on the other side too. There's some jutting out points, mostly on the top. You can really see. I'd probably have to re-corner around these to get them even. And it's mostly okay on this corner, but there's a little bit of some offness on that corner as well. This has to do with, this is their printer. So hopefully they can get that sorted out with their printer, because that is a little bit obnoxious, but it's pretty easy to fix. So I don't know. That's a thing that is something you should be aware of. I think that hopefully that's just an anomaly to this deck. Hopefully that wasn't a thing across all the decks. If you have this and you had that corner rounding issue, please let me know. And that'd be, or just comment down below so others know if it's a more consistent thing they should be prepared to have, or if this is just an issue with my deck. But let's see. I'd love to do like a sample reading and just see how it works in real time. This might be a fun one to also pull in for my magical unicorn readings, just to see how it functions. I wonder if the titles, as fun as they are, is going to give me a jumping off point, or if it's going to end up being or feeling a little bit limiting. Let's see if there's any way I could potentially riffle shuffle this. Oh, definitely not. I can't get my fingers around enough of it. Oh, wait. Where there's a will, there's a way, people. But I didn't get the best mix because I'm mostly dropping them. I wonder if I broke it up into like 4 piles. Yeah, I could probably do it then. It's just, let me mix up the piles. So we'll go that pile and, oops, I just bashed my microphone, so sorry. That pile and this pile, just to mix things up a bit better. It is quite the stretch. Yeah, actually the cardstock feels like it's got a little bit of snap. I think the larger issue is that it's a little too stiff and the cards are a little too long. I think if this was smaller and was a little more bendy, it'd be better, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I've already dropped cards. When it's big like this, it just gets hard to manage, but I want to do a sample reading, so I want to get some good shuffles. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's just do some more hand over hand. Worst case scenario with bigger decks like this, sometimes what I'll do to draw my cards is instead of trying to shuffle to get like an even mix, I'll just fan them and I'll ask my question. So let's say the question is, let's do a me, them, us spread. So we'll do 1 for Joe, 1 for Kevin, and 1 for between them. And we'll say that they are friends and they just kind of want to check in on their friendship. So we'll say Joe is here. Okay. Kevin is here. Uh-oh. And between them, okay. So based on this, yeah, it does read pretty snappy, I would feel like. So let me pull these up so you can see what has happened here. So for Joe, I got Ace of Vibes Microdose. For Kevin, I got the Ghoster, not a great sign. And then for in between them, I have the 9 of Thoughts, the Sunday Scaries. So if I'm just going off of those titles, right, I would go, okay, Microdose, I'm again a little bit lost because I don't have a personal relationship with this reference. The Ghoster for Kevin doesn't look good to me, and it seems like there's a lot of like unspoken issues or fears between them. I don't have a lot for this one, but let's take that out of the thing for now. Oh no, we have Big D energy for Joe. For Kevin, we have Knight of Thoughts Protest Organizer, and then between them we have Queen of Swag, Who Runs the World. So I would say then for Joe, he's bringing a lot of that like confidence and swagger, and then Kevin is bringing a lot more of like, how do I say this right? Like it's going to be more important to him to have a meaningful relationship. That's what I would see from somebody who might be like this kind of personality. And then between them, we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Swag. So it could be that both are kind of focused on their money, both are kind of focused on providing materially. So on that level, they're fairly compatible, right? Let's try a different question. So let's just do an energy obstacle advice and see how I might read the 3 cards that come out. So energy obstacle advice. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna fan. I put the other cards in the bottom, so I'm not gonna reach into there. So let's say energy is gonna be this one. Oh, sweet. Obstacle is gonna be that one. And advice is going to be that one. Okay, so let's scoop these up again, get them out of the way. Okay, so energy is the Tower. Obstacle was let's go like this. Energy is dumpster fire. Obstacle is ally. And advice is off the grid. So right away I'd say shit's going down right now. What's in your way is people trying to help you who are doing more damage than they're helping, like more harm than good kind of thing is what I feel from like misplaced allyship here with the dumpster fire, because this is coming up as an obstacle. And then the Hermit is off the grid, is like you just need to like tune out and do your own thing for a bit. Let's do another energy obstacle advice by just pulling randomly here from the middle and see. So energy, engagement photos. Okay. 2 of Cups, good connecting energy. The obstacle is the Fool, so there's a lot of risk involved in this connection. The advice is work besties. Oh, if this is somebody you know from work, you're definitely going to want to take it easy. Like, I feel like this could be really good for, like really grounded, like, relationship-y kinds of things, maybe? Am I making that up? I don't know. Let's see. Another energy obstacle advice. Energy is work-life balance. Obstacle, social justice warrior. We have the Justice card. And then advice is thirst trap. Now this one fell totally flat for me, and I'm not sure why. Let's try another one. Let's try energy, the Emperor, the Patriarchy. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting too attached to the literal interpretation of the nicknames. Okay, let's try this though again. Let's just try. So we have energy, the Patriarchy, and the Emperor. So getting things done, trying to like maybe conform in a way. There could be some of that energy. The obstacle of frenemies. So you've got like maybe a push-pull friendship or relationship that's getting kind of in your way of being productive today. Perhaps that could be a thing. And then the advice is the Page of Cups coming out. So leave room for flexibility, for believing the best in people. That could clear up some of this frenemy energy. So yeah, I can definitely read with this. It feels not difficult to read with. I had that one set of 3 that felt funky. Quarter life crisis, we have judgment, but I'm leaning back into my standard understanding of the definitions of the cards, right? So I'm leaning back into the title and less the, what's this called? What do I call this? The nickname. I'm leaning more into the title than I am the nickname, I'm noticing in a lot of these. So quarter life crisis for the energy. So some indecision, knowing we need to maybe make a change. Not sure what that change maybe is yet. The obstacle is celebrity stylist, Knight of Swag. Yes, as soon as I get into these nicknames, I think a lot of times it's tripping me up a bit. Standing up and fighting. So we have standing up and fighting as the obstacle. Like maybe we're trying too hard or trying too hard to do better, that we're actually getting in our own way. And then the advice is personal trainer. So to me, that's like put one foot in front of the other, do steady work to get to where you're trying to get to. This is really interesting. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts down below in the comments. I will have a link, like I said, to the Millenial Tarot website so you can check it out and see if this is for you. I'm not in love with the size of the cardstock, but like I said, they are planning on changing that. And it kind of remains to be seen how this is going to work out as a regular reader for me. I will say that the physical size makes it a little challenging to go into rotation as a workhorse, because I'm not sure how I feel about the physical process of it. And I need my workhorses to be really easy to work with physically. But I do love how fun this feels and how modern this feels and how relatable it feels. So that part's really fun. But again, I'm in this weird place where I'm kind of in between the generations. And I wonder if I was more like flat in the middle or centered in that millennial space, if I'd feel differently. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts, especially not only, but especially from those of you who do identify as millennials or are in those generations. Did you find that these cards were relatable to the point where you know you can just pick them up and get messages from them? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. But this is a really fun deck. It's unique, it's relatable, it's different. So that is the Millenial Tarot. Thank you so much for watching. As always, an extra big thank you goes out to the Unicorn Fam channel members. Thank you so much. And I will see y'all in the next one. Until then, may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, y'all.